Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the Monday, November 6 spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Chad DiMera was irritated when he urged Stephanie Johnson to introduce him to her buddy in the park. After introducing himself to Chad as Stephanie's boyfriend, Everett Lynch apologized for his miscommunication and pretended to be adjusting to their new relationship status. When Chad learned that Everett was the guy who had allegedly ghosted Stephanie, she was able to assist him in explaining that he had been in an accident that resulted in a medically induced coma and a protracted recuperation period. Everett promised Chad that he was pulling off now, even though he had traveled to Salem with the intention of resuming his connection with Stephanie. Chad was not pleased with Stephanie for keeping that information a secret after Everett revealed that he had spoken to Stephanie the previous evening. At some point, Chad tried to act civil because he thought Everett was going to be leaving town. But Everett later admitted that he was staying because he had recently started working at The Spectator. Although it was clear that Chad was unhappy, Everett thought it would be good if the three of them could become friends, and Stephanie agreed. Chad made it quite apparent that he didn't want to be friends with Everett after he left on Monday's episode of Days and expressed his displeasure over his desire for Stephanie to return. This reminded me far too much of what happened recently with Alex Kyriakis. Although Stephanie maintained that the circumstances were different, she acknowledged that it was comforting to have someone just focus on her. Before settling down and realizing that Stephanie must be struggling in this circumstance with Everett as well, Chad quarreled with her over marriage. Stephanie stated she was going home and left in tears, reassuring Chad that Everett was a wonderful guy. While eating cake at Marlena Evans' townhouse, Roman and Brady Black discussed Eric Brady's unexpected marriage to Sloane Peterson Brady. Following Roman's departure, Brady confided in Marlena about Gabi and Stephen DiMera taking advantage of him, claiming that they never intended to assist him in obtaining custody of Rachel Black. Brady pitied Stephen and Gabi's next victim as Stephen searched Lee Shin's apartment for information. Stephen surmised that Gabi was the one responsible for Lai's horrifying outcome because she was clutching the bloodied knife. Gabi claimed Lai used a text about the shares not being genuine to entice her back to his apartment. Gabi was told to come by herself if she wanted the real documents signed. Stephen hurried over there after receiving an unclear message from Gabi. Stephen, however, told Gabi that Lai had conned her because the shares proved to be legitimate and had enabled him to remove E.J. DiMera from office. Gabi thought this was a setup, even though she had merely taken the knife to try to aid Lai by taking it out of his back. Lai was unable to stab himself in the back, so Gabi and Stephen made assumptions about who could have done this. On Monday's episode of Duel, Trip Johnson, Lucas Adams, complimented Ava Vitali for her excellent management of the bistro. Trip expressed his gratitude to Wendy Shin and Trip for receiving the family discount. Dill Carter approached and expressed his hope that they could have covered the entire cost of the supper. But he pretended that it was crucial that they not even have the slightest appearance of improper behavior. Wendy was preoccupied with her phone since Lai wasn't answering her texts when Harris Michaels ran into her in the town square. When Trip and Wendy finally got together, Wendy was upset about Gabi stabbing Lai in the back during the earlier episode involving blackmail. Once they were back with Gabi and Stephen, they understood that if this was a setup, they had to get Gabi out of there. Gabi was clutching the knife and wondering what they should do when Wendy and Trip entered. Gabi was undoubtedly to blame for Wendy's horrified cry, but Stephen and Gabi argued that this wasn't how it looked. Trip noticed that Lai's pulse was still feeble, so he took her to the emergency room right away. During Monday's episode of Days, Wendy wanted to stay in Lee's room and let the physicians know she was there to support her brother. Wendy pressed for information regarding who had hurt Lai, and he finally gave up, leaving her helpless. Lai moaned in agony. Regarding Harris, he observed Ava and Gil in a heated exchange, but they both played it down. In private, Harris acknowledged that Jill had offended him, but Ava pretended that Harris wasn't all that horrible. He hoped to fulfill his promise to take Ava out to dinner now that they were both comfortable in their new positions. Although Ava made reference to their hectic schedules, Harris persuaded her to go on a date. Jill then threatened to place a bullseye on Ava's back in addition to the one Tripp was already facing if she told Harris about Clyde Weston's, James Reed, business. In the next Monday's episode of Days, Gabi became anxious at Lay's apartment and considered wiping her prints off the knife. However, Stefan cautioned her against doing so because Wendy and Tripp had witnessed her using it. Lye didn't make it, Harris told Gabi and Stefan when he arrived. Gabi inquired as to whether Lye had identified his assailant prior to his passing. Harris then revealed that Lye had claimed Gabi was responsible and produced his handcuffs to put Gabi under arrest. Keep checking back for more on all the mayhem, as spoilers for Days of Our Lives indicate that Gabi's predicament is going to get much worse. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Theresa Donovan might be positioning herself to become the town outcast. Theresa isn't exactly the most well-liked person in Salem, of course, but if the truth is revealed, she might lose even more support. Theresa and Konstantin Milionis hatched a plot to falsify the will accompanying Victor Kiriakis, giving the impression that Victor's secret son was Alex Kiriakis. It's only a matter of time until a shocking revelation that Xander Cook is actually Victor's hidden son becomes public. Theresa's scheme is certain to backfire and destroy the bond she is fostering with Alex. The hardest thing for Theresa, though, would be losing any opportunity she had with Brady Black. In the upcoming months, Brady and Theresa will have some intimate encounters with certain Tate Black difficulties. Theresa hasn't given up on Brady just yet. There will even be a kiss between these former lovers. Days teasers naturally state that when Brady learns how far Theresa went to pull off her forgery hoax, he would lose it. Brady can entirely distance himself from Theresa and leave her feeling abandoned. Who may Theresa choose as her next romantic partner as she loses out on both Brady and Alex? Let's consider Everett Lynch for a minute. He seems like an interesting candidate. Because the DOL writers have positioned Everett as the outsider in Chad DeMera and Stephanie Johnson's relationship, he might wind up losing the Days' love triangle. We also know that Everett will soon meet Alex and learn that he is Stephanie's ex, which may result in an introduction to Theresa for Everett. According to previews for Days, Everett will try to win Stephanie back. But it's possible that some of his schemes will be discovered, turning Stephanie against him. Stated differently, Theresa and Everett may discover later in life that they have a lot in common. Keep checking back for updates on whether Theresa and Everett will end up together, because it's easy to see them connecting over their failed romantic endeavors. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Theresa and Everett may be in for some bad news, but in the aftermath, they may find love. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.